And hello and good day. This is Bowles TV. Hey, it's BOLES.TV. Bowles.television. Ah! This is Bowles TV. Hey, it's I do it every time. I turn this down. Oh, maybe it was the ringer I turned down. Uh-oh, wrong way. Well, I might as well show you this. This is my new delight. I was going to save it for a little bit later. Oh. This is my new iPad Pro. It's the big version. And the keyboard is magnificent. We had a very, very old 10-year-old iPad that had the regular keyboard that like wrapped into the binder sort of. This sort of does that too. But, you know, it's like it lights up. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very clear and clever. So this is like my monitor that I have right next to me. So I can see if what I'm doing makes any sense. And often it doesn't. But that's never stopped me before. Comes with a new Apple Pencil, which is like a regular hard pencil. Not round like here's the original Apple Pencil. I go back that far to the original, the OG Apple Pencil that you would charge by plugging it into the lightning port of your iPhone or your iPad. This one, when it charges, goes right on top of the iPad, like this. There. And then that's where it charges. Uh-oh, I just touched something. Don't touch it. Oh, welcome to Apple Pencil. Oh, no, I didn't see this before. Your Apple Pencil unlocks a whole new iPad experience, letting you annotate, draw, markup, and edit in the apps you use every day. Preview brush size. Hover your Apple Pencil over your iPad to preview the brush size and color. Oh, and look at this. This is my Twitch stream, and I see something from Gordon that I'll read right off of this. For some reason, our OG Apple Pencil kept dropping in and out of connection with the iPad. Swipe your Apple Pencil from the bottom right corner of your iPad to create a quick note. Oh gosh, I'm going to forget all this. Scribble. Now you can write in any text field, and your words automatically transform to a typed text. Switch tools with a gesture by double tapping on your Apple Pencil. You can easily switch tools as you write, sketch, or draw. Try Scribble. Use your pencil to handwrite and I don't want to double tap. Okay, so that's all for later, I guess. Fun though. Oh, plug it back in because it's going to be on all day. Yeah, the Apple Pencils are wonderful, and they use the same tips. Now, I have spare tips somewhere, but I can't find them. And if you want a set of 4 new tips, if you're going to do a lot of scribbling, $20. I mean, come on now. Another recent addition to the family, the Apple family, is the new Apple TV. And this is the best thing about the whole thing, is the remote. It's like a real remote now. It's heavy, that terrible old touch screen thing that didn't work. But this is a touch screen. But you don't have to use it that way. They have dedicated buttons now. But the Apple TV, it's a little box, top notch, very hot though. So if you watch Twitch all day, like I do, wow. The little men sitting atop the Apple TV get very warm on their toes. Children of the corn, always ready to go for a fight. So many things to discuss today. So many interesting things. Yesterday was voting day in America. We were out canvassing, helping people get to the polls. And the results, sort of interesting. I never thought it was going to be a red wave or a blue wave. I think this is a Joe Biden election where we're kind of in the middle, which is not a terrible place to be. But now if if Congress, not the Senate really, but the House, if the House is going to, have like a 2, 3, 5 majority on the Republican side, get ready for hostage taking. It's going to be ugly. What Manchin and Sinema did to us is nothing compared to what the House Republicans are going to do to the rest of us. But in some ways, I think it's good, especially if the House stays Democrat, because then America will see exactly the agenda of the GOP. Take away Medicare, take away Social Security, do it all. Let them go. Stay out of it like they did, let them pass everything, and then in the end, Joe Biden is a good guy, vetoes it, says I stand up for people, re-elect me against Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis. I really don't know how people in Florida can put up with Ron DeSantis. He is such a horrible, awful person. And when you see the speeches, the concession speeches from the Democrats, they're thoughtful and careful, and thank you so much for voting for me. And then you see that they say thing from the Republicans, and the first thing they say is, we defeated such a terrible person in the Democrat. Florida is where woke goes to die. I mean, what does that mean anyway? Who uses that as a slogan? Professor Gordon says, his ads were awful. And he won huge. I just don't understand it. So we know Florida is very, very red. It's not purple by any means. Very disappointed by yesterday. Yeah, I can imagine. Gordon lives in Florida. And I think now we just need to get, gerrymandering. Oh, that's it. That explains it. Because I have a lot of friends in Florida who are very liberal. And they can't stand Ron DeSantis. How does he keep getting elected? I don't know. But now we know. Gerrymandering. And I think it's time we finally just say our goodbyes to Beto O'Rourke in Texas. The guy's a loser. Gordon also says he redistricted 3 huge blue areas, and they're red as a result. Oh, boy. I just can't believe they get away with it. But that's what they're going to do to all of America. They can't wait. And do I want Donald Trump as a president, or do I want Ron DeSantis as a president? If I had to pick, I would take Trump. Because Trump tells you exactly what he's going to do, then he does it very poorly. Well, Ron DeSantis is mean and nasty and awful, and he does exactly what he says he's going to do, and you cannot unbind it. But I would love to see Ron DeSantis in a general election trying to appeal to anyone who's not a white male redneck, as the stereotype goes. Because I can't believe that, mainstream America is going to go for that really strange, radical guy. And he's very unlikable, and he has no charm and no personality. And that's, as I said many times on this live stream, that is the technique of Donald Trump. He's just as terrible, but he's funny. He can tell a good story. He can be charming when he wants to. And he was on TV. People love him. And that is the real power of Donald Trump. He knows how to charm people. He has charisma. He has that thing that people love. And if you don't like him, you have to respect. The guy knows how to motivate and move people. At least he did. And Ron DeSantis has none of that. He has no charm. He has no charisma. He just comes off as a mean, mean person. So my goodness, now where do we begin? Some terrible personal news, but I'll save that for after the first break, because it's a little bit of a story, and once I start it, I'm not going to be able to talk about other things like this. From the news this morning. Hey, it's Donna! Go Trump in 2024! Oh, Donna, you're so funny. We have to feel bad for Donna because Donna is an Iowa fan. Nebraska fans, no Trump. And I have a lot of friends and family who love Donald Trump. You take people where you find them. So, hey, Meta is laying off 11,000 people, but all Midwestern. It's very true. Donna is right. The Midwest loves Donald Trump. Mr. Gordon asks, may I ask, which sign did you use to signify Trump? It's the flipping of the hair. At least in New York. Maybe it's a different sign in Iowa, Nebraska, but that's the sign. Yep, because of the hair. Yeah. And when you teach ASL, we were teaching at CUNY, and we were teaching some faculty members signs of presidents. And one of them was Clinton, which was a C. And when you do this, that's a fair. So Clinton, a fair. And one faculty member was furious. How can you say that? That's terrible. I said, you think that's terrible? How about this? An R with a gun. That's Ronald Reagan, president. And that was outrage. How dare you? You changed the name. It's disgusting. It can't be a gun. And I wrote an article about a kid. His name was Hunter. Deaf, had a signed name, was Hunter. A gun. H with a gun. So he'd be talking to his friends in school. Oh, that Hunter got in trouble. Oh, he's trying to kill kids with his name sign. So Meta is laying off 11,000 people as tech industry slashes jobs. Now, I've been talking about Instagram and my ban since October 17, which doesn't make any sense. I got in touch with some of the people on the NFT alpha testing team at Facebook last week and asked them for some help. I said, hey, you know me. I'm verified. I do a lot of work for Meta for free. Why have I been banned from Instagram? All I'm doing is posting images of NFT artwork. I don't say anything. There's nothing political. I don't even really type anything over there. No response. And then a couple of days ago, I get a response from someone saying, hi, we appreciate everything you've done for us. Give me more information. So I gave more information, and they're checking into it. So this is my only best chance to see if something happens. It turns out my Bowls Bells account is not, last time I checked, banned, because I thought it was Bowls Bells, but it's not. It's Bowls.bells, because Bowls Bells was already taken. How is that possible? It's impossible. And I've always been confused about it, so I had to correct that. So I felt a little bit bad. Oh, here, we'll just see if Bowls Books is up. Oh. Now, can I log in? That's going to be the question. And what nasty things are they going to say to me? 7,000 posts. Now, that's a lot of work for no reward. And now, as I was thinking about this Instagram thing, I'm thrown off by this because I had no idea. And I'm supposed to be checking Bowls Bells. Maybe 5 years ago, I was publishing all my social media through Buffer. And I'm concerned about Buffer and Sprout Social and all of those other wonderful places who rely on propagating, sending out updates to social media. Specifically about this whole thing that's going on with Twitter and the madman who's in charge of everything now, who's changed his verified thing. We're going to talk about that too. I have so many things to talk about. And I was being blocked from posting to Instagram. And I hadn't done anything. So I talked to Buffer. I said, why am I being blocked? I only publish through you. I only have since I started that Instagram account, 5 years ago, whatever. And they said, well, check into it. And they came back and said, what have you been saying? Is there anything you've been saying? Have you been logging in? Have you been posting behind our backs? I said, no. Everything that I've posted to Instagram has gone through you. You can verify it. You can check it. I've done nothing outside of that because I'm really not a fan of Instagram. But I feel like I should be there because it's Instagram. They said, okay, we'll talk to Instagram. It took them about 3 weeks to get me put back on. They didn't tell me why I was blocked. They didn't tell me what happened. They just were very concerned that in some way I had messed things up. But I hadn't done anything. So as I've been ruminating about all this since October 17, I've been trying to figure out, what did I do? And here you go. Bowles TV live stream weekdays, high noon Eastern. Okay, now I have been changing my avatar more often than I usually do because I'm showing off my NFT artwork. And as you can see, oh, look at all these wonderful. I'm trying to think, is there anything here that's, bloody or accusatory or strange that would get me blocked? I knew there's nothing here. I think that's funny. I know there's nothing here from yesterday. Now let's just, because we're here, look at Bowles Bells. And then I'm going to see if I can log in. Because if it logs in, it's going to tell me something nasty, I'm sure. Bowles.bells. And it's private because there's nothing there. I have nothing going on. There are no posts. When you register a new domain name, you have to go to all social media and try to grab the name because bad people steal your social media names based on the domain name. So I was just reserving this, and this was never cut off. I thought it was because I wasn't inserting the period between the bowls and the bells that I didn't want there in the first place. Now, do we dare log in? He, him, product, service, 464 followers, which is nobody. And I follow 279 people, which is nobody. What did I say? Oh, it's making me log in. Oh, now I'm getting nervous. If I reveal something, don't look. Oh, it's just showing up. Let me put in the number. Oh, and you can see the number. But that's okay. Doesn't mean anything. I hope. Oh, here we go. This is how it all started. After I was banned. Oh no, now we have to confirm who you are, young man. So they're sending me an email. Okay, now I have to look at my email. Okay. I will do. Now, if this is all working out, I really am happy for it, but I'm also very sad about it. Because it seems to me totally unfair that there are a lot of people who are getting kicked off of Facebook and Instagram. I guess anybody can make an accusation against your account and try to get you. And because I, did some work for them, maybe I get in. Maybe. And is that fair? Because, I did some work. Oh, here we go. We detected unusual activity in your account. For your security, please let us know your profile is correct. Meow. So that's just somebody trying to log into my account, somebody trying to do terrible things. Why am I getting banned for it? I didn't do anything. He said. Oh, they just sent me another security code. Here we go. Oh, this is getting ridiculous. I'll try. Gee, didn't we just do this? Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be ridiculous. Oh, gee. Uh, so I'm taking this off because now I don't know what's going on. Are they going to send me another security code? I mean, come on now. So my question is it fair that, someone, who knows somebody at Facebook can, get back in because that person does a favor for you and maybe get you back in? That's not fair. And once I'm in, I got blocked 5 years ago via buffer. And then I got blocked again right now for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Backup codes. It's asking for backup code. Do I have backup codes? Oh, I don't know if I have backup codes. Let me see. No. Let's see. Do I have backup codes? I'm not sure what it means, backup codes. Well, this is getting presumptive now. I'll try to log in again and see what happens. Enter the security code we sent to you. Oh boy. I'm caught on a loop. A loop-de-loo, as they say. Oh, and we have so many things to talk about today. And nobody's helping. There's no code being sent. Gordon says, I've seen some people that embroider their backup codes to make them look nice. That's fun. Maybe I'll try the same code that they already sent me. I'll try the original one. Am I in? No. Please wait a few minutes before I do. Well, this is the perfect time to take a little break. Now, what are we doing when we come back? I don't know. What are we doing here? I don't know. So the sad story might have to wait a little more because now I have to fix this. Returning in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Bowles, and this is Bowles.tv. Hey, it's Bowles.television. Every day of the week at high noon. Ah, there, I finally got it right. Not Monday through Friday, plus Saturday and Sunday. It's all day, every day. Pretty much. Generally speaking. So we're trying to now log into our Instagram account. Now, as I'm on break, I'm thinking, okay, I've tried to request my backup codes 4 or 5 times, and it won't let me. Try again later. Now, you know it's going to lock me out again. An unauthorized person is trying to get into your account. And then we have to start all over again. So that's why I'm going to wait a little while longer before I try. Who knows how long I should wait? I'm trying to get back in. But the question is, once I get in, what am I going to do? Do I keep posting stuff there and wait for them to cut me off again? If I had any clue why I was cut off, then I wouldn't do it again. But I know I didn't do anything. So what's the point of it, really? And when I first got that notification, I laughed because I thought, oh, yeah, right, okay. I've been reported and I've violated community standards. I've heard that before. Oh, yeah. I heard it this morning. 2 or 3 times a week, I get a notification from Facebook from community standards that you've violated and to input your login information so we can verify you. And it's always some funky-dunky spam site. So I always block them. It's ridiculous. And then the Instagram one was real. I was just so stupid. I couldn't get out of it. Now, speaking of stupid, have you heard about the old Elon? This is from a high-level person who, earlier in her Twitter feed, her name is Esther Crawford, said she is sleeping in her office night and day. And as someone commented, perhaps even in this thread, this is what happens when you work for a madman. Or you try to make sense of a policy that he is trying to put in place that doesn't make any sense. So this is what they've come up with. With this verified Twitter thing. Now, the easy thing is just don't touch the blue checks. People pay $8, you verify them, wink, wink, by giving them a red check, or a gold check, or purple check. So people know, okay, the blue checks are the original, the OG checks, and the new kids on the block have a purple check. Okay, so, and they're verified. They call themselves verified. They're verified. They're verified purple. The others are verified blue. I guess Elon didn't like that idea because this is what they're doing. A lot of folks have asked about how you'll be able to distinguish between @Twitter Blue subscribers, that's the $8 a month thing, with blue check marks, and accounts that are verified as official, which is why we're introducing the official label to select accounts. So this is what they're doing. They're adding this. Blue check, right? And then the official check under that. And I feel terrible for this woman because she's trying to solve a problem that doesn't need to be solved. It's not a problem. I mean, it is a problem. And here's where it gets very bizarre. Not all previously verified accounts will get the official label, and the label is not available for purchase yet. Accounts that will receive it include government accounts, commercial companies, business partners, major media outlets, publishers, and some public figures. Now, here's the problem with that right away. The verified check is generally there to identify the person that you're speaking to is actually that person. And there are a lot of small town journalists who write for their local newspaper who are not popular. They don't have a lot of followers. But for people in that area who want to know, is this the person who wrote that article? Oh, I see it's a verified check. It must be that person. And then you have a conversation. But under this plan, it seems like those small-time journalists get nothing. They're just going to look like they paid for their blue check. Now, the question is, the official thing that they're going to put on there, that stupid thing, are people going to have to pay to keep their blue check in order to get and keep the official identification? The new Twitter Blue does not include ID verification. It's an opt-in paid subscription that offers a blue check mark and access to select features. We'll continue to experiment with ways to differentiate between account types. And I retweeted this one because it was so funny. This is George W. Bush, 9/11, being told he was reading to children, hey, the World Trade Center isn't anymore. And this person wrote, sir, a second check mark is in Twitter. It's funny. And someone said, too soon. So more reply. This is where it gets very hilariously belly laughing funny. Next, you have to pay extra to hide the blue check mark so nobody knows you're giving Elon $8 a month. I wonder about that too. Elon Musk claims they won't allow that, but who knows? Hey, Elon Musk, I just want an answer. What if someone impersonates the previously verified profiles with a new profile having a paid blue tick? Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous question. And Elon says, hey, great question. Twitter will suspend the account attempting impersonation and keep the money. So if scammers want to do this 1,000,000 times, that's just a whole bunch of free money for me. We'll see. So let's say me. I let my check go, and there are, 7 David Bowleses in the world who would probably love to pay $8 and have my check mark next to their name. And I go to them and I say, hey, Elon, they're not impersonating me, but that's my check mark that I earned and was given to me. And I guess Elon would say, well, they're not impersonating you. They just have your check mark. Yeah, but it's my check mark. Well, but here's what is going to be interesting. Let's say I pay to keep my check mark, and then they get their check mark. So we have 7 David Bowleses on Twitter with all of the blue verified check mark. It's just so dumb. Oh, this is more of that. When you recognize an adult is needed to handle the situation, and then you realize you're the adult. Oh boy, I feel for her. I really do, because she's getting really, really blasted. So let me get this right. Blue check mark is a paid account. Official, verified account, but we're also removing verification from mostly journalists and anyone who makes fun of Elon or mentions the horse by hands. You all are just bad at this. So once I get super verified, I sign up 8 friends and get super verified. Then I become ultra verified. Then when those each 8 get 8 friends to get super verified, then they become ultra verified, and I ascend to the omni verified. It really is ridiculous. Which brings me to my next point of interest, which is this. Let me pull it up. No, it's not Instagram. I'm still click on that. It's this. Mastodon. Now, Mastodon is a federated messaging system. The link is on my Twitter page. I believe I've even tweeted about it. Let's see, what do I have here? Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the invite. Yeah. You can click on that and get invited to the server that I'm on. Now, here's what I found out. That not all Mastodon servers, hey, it's Gordon. You briefly had Maxwell Frost's Florida victory announcement via Twitter. A small silver lining. He seems like a good guy. Oh, I didn't even know. Right now, anything from Florida is bad. Except for the David Escus. So here's the thing with Mastodon. Everybody sort of has a server you can join. And the main server that most Twitter people are trying to get on is mastodon.social. But you can't get on because it's full. But if somebody you know there has something for you, then they will let you in by giving you an invite. So I tried. So you've got to find an open Mastodon server. And they don't all have Mastodon. Some of them have unique domain names. One of them, MIT, has a Mastodon server. And think, oh gosh, that would be a good one to get on. You know they're not going to put up with any insanity there. And then you try to log on and you get an error message saying, you can't sign up. You're not from MIT. You don't have an MIT.edu email address. Okay. So I was on masthead.social, which looked to be like where journalists were going. Not a lot of people there, but that's okay. The server, and especially the web interface, was very, very painfully slow. And so I'm reading other places, and something pops up in that feed saying, hey, our servers are full, but we have this new server we just opened that's kind of like where it's not run off, but... So I clicked on it. And it is masto.ai. And my username is @polls@masto.ai. And immediately I noticed two things. One, super, super fast server. Second thing I noticed is the software version they were running was 4.0 something something. And the previous one that I was on was 3.4 something something something. Now, in the world of software updates, that's a long time. From a 3.4 to a 4 point something. So I don't know, I get they were obviously running old code. I don't know why. Maybe it's not a popular server, or the people running it don't care. So I was immediately impressed with Masto.io, AI, which is it? Artificial intelligence, thank you, AI. And it's very fast and lovely, and I have set up, there are programs you can use to download all your followers and all the people you're following on Twitter, and then you upload it to Mastodon, merging, not overwriting, and then you can also set up that whatever you put on Twitter, tweet on Twitter, gets transferred over to Mastodon. And if you type something on Mastodon, it gets sent to your Twitter feed. So you don't have to really worry about posting brand new stuff on Mastodon as you're, deciding if you're going to leave Twitter or not. You just post on Twitter and it gets propagated to Mastodon, which is great. Now, the other thing that I heard before I joined is they said, Mastodon people said, it doesn't matter what server you're on because you can change it or you can still talk to people on other servers. It's all federated. Okay. So I thought, I don't want to have two Mastodon accounts. I never heard back from mastodon.art, by the way. That was the first one I tried to get on. And they never sent me any. I applied, registered, we'll get back to you. They never sent anything. So I didn't wait, kept looking. And so you can go into your account And you can either have it temporarily redirect you to your new account or just delete your old account, have everything transferred over to your new account. And that's what I did this morning. And it was very seamless. It was instantaneous. I didn't lose any followers. I didn't lose any of the people I was following. It was all handled beautifully. And then I posted a couple of little things this morning and got nice responses and favorites and favorited. And even stuff I posted on Twitter and was propagated over Mastodon got some attention too. Now, from most people, getting on Mastodon is going to be very painful, is my prediction. Because it's not easy, it's a little complicated. But, if you've been on the internet for a while, it's not going to be a problem. Is it as seamless and as frictionless as the Twitter? No. Twitter's very easy to use, very simple. Used to be fun, but it's very different now. So be careful and beware. But I am concerned that this whole ecosystem is being destroyed by Elon Musk. Because there are people who rely on Twitter, people who make apps in the App Store for Twitter and get paid money. Places like Sprout Social and Buffer. People pay those services in order to post to Twitter. And if Twitter is dying or being messed with by Elon Musk, they're going to be out of business because Twitter is one of the major social media places you want to go and be known. And the other day, I checked out Sprout Social, which I love, by the way, just on their most basic account. And the thing is with Sprout Social is I don't know if it is anymore, that if you joined them when they first started, which was $25 a month, you kept that $25 a month forever. Like whenever you joined them, that was your price forever. But if you leave and come back, you don't get that same price. You have to pay the new price. So I did not ever have the $25 price, but for a short time, I think we had, oh, look at this. Here's Mr. Gordon. Oh, he's shown up here. Well, I can't even see it. Oh, yes, I can. I just have to move this over. Ooh. Gordon D has followed you. And this is confusing because this is a person with an X, which means stop following them. This is a person with a plus, means do follow. It's hard to see. I wish they would use colors and a little bit of a different icon. But I protest too much. One thing I like about this new server is when you click on something, it's publish. On the old server, it was toot. So on Twitter, you tweet. On Mastodon, you toot. And the history of the toot, as I am told, is, for viewers, my verification mail for Mastodon got sent to spam box. That is a very good point. And the 3 places I've registered, 2 of them got sent directly to spam. Absolutely right. That's a very good point. The other one, for .art, I looked for it in spam and it wasn't there. It just never, I guess. Well, I was able to apply. I don't know what happened. So now we have to see if we can type something. Hey, oh, look at this. Ooh. Hey, Gordon. Welcome to the wild Mastodon. The fun here is only beginning. Oops. Still not spelled right. Please correct it for me. Thank you. And so the Sprout Social reminded me of that because that's a very good story. But I got to figure out what image to add to this, and I have a lot of them. Oh, it's in my downloads file, I think. Oh, that'd be a fun one. Okay. And you can drag and drop images, which is fabulous. I hate those images where you have to click, open the file, send the file. Just please let us drag and drop. Mastodon, let's just drag and drop. Boom. Now, here's another thing about the profile thing that I like a lot is you can you can verify yourself on Mastodon by including some code, let's say on your webpage. And I did. For Bowles.com, for Bowles.tv, for Bowlesbook.com, ScriptProfessor.com, those are the four. I didn't do Bowles blogs because adding stuff to HTML with WordPress.com is challenging. So I have 7 posts, I follow 125 people, I have 70 followers. And these are some of the things I do. I just love that. So that is all verified, and it was verified very quickly this morning, so I'm very delightful about that. So here's the thing with Sprout Social. While I was paying $99 a month, and in many ways it was worth it because it made everything seamless. There was no friction, but very expensive. But I could post to 10 social media accounts, post different things, mix things up. But the best thing that Sprout Social does is have a universal inbox, which means they propagate everything you get from LinkedIn, from all your social media, any kind of message, anything sent to you gets put in one place. And you can just reply all day long without having to visit anywhere else but your Sprout Social inbox. But then after a while, you look around and, Buffer is, $25 a month. And then they went up to $100 to $150. It was ridiculous. Gordon favorited our post. Oh, somewhere. So, in anticipation of this fun, I have to find another image. This time I find a dolly image from history. A cat eating a banana? No. Although I want to. So Sprout Social, where it used to be $100, is now $250 a month just for like one person. And if you want to add a team member, it's $199. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how people can afford that. I mean, I guess you could write it off at the end of the day. But wow, that is painful to me. And again, I mean, if Elon, blows up Twitter, what's Sprout Social going to do? Going to lower their price? No. But they're not going to be able to, put Twitter stuff in the inbox. They're not going to, support Mastodon because it's federated. It's open. Anybody can do it. You don't have to go through anybody to get help. So this is all fun. And I don't think replies are being sent to Twitter. I think only things that you say to yourself. I think, hey, we're live streaming. Okay. So now it's time for another break. But this is going to be a good topic. Okay. And it's like right on target, too. Censoring Mr. Gordon. Yeah. It's part of the show. Nothing to do with the death. That's coming up later. But censoring Mr. Gordon is the next topic, which will then flow into our Instagram. We'll see if we can get it. And the censoring of Mr. Gordon has nothing to do with me. It has to do with something else. And we'll talk about it right after this. And hey, we're back from break here on Bowls.tv, BOLES.television. It's Bowls.tv. Live and in person every day, usually here, high noon Eastern. So it's been a very fascinating show today. And we're continuing. We're trying to continue on. Soldiering on, as they say. And I forgot to share this with you. Jane Manchun Wong is a very wonderful person who is on Twitter. And I guess Twitter offered her a job like 6 months ago because she goes through all the code of all the social networks, their apps and stuff to find new features, and she announces them before they do. So this is her take on the super official that she has given herself 3 super official check marks in addition to her blue check mark. Oh, it's just so ridiculously silly. And if you had a person who didn't, have a lot of ego, you could say, well, look, we made a little mistakes. So we're just going to leave it as it is. Chris Messina, a verified subscriber to Twitter Blue, with medals that he has given himself. Congratulations, not enough. It's so funny. So, I'm tempted to log in Instagram again. Let's try it. Reload. Log in. Oh my gosh. Enter the code we sent to you. Oh boy. At least they sent me a code. Allegedly. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna get this right. Okay. Confirm. Save your login info. Now, there are a couple of people on Instagram. Okay. I'll play along. Now, there are a couple of people on Instagram who I only know on Instagram. One is a cousin of mine, originally from Ord, Nebraska. That's the only place we have contact. I don't even know how to contact her outside of Instagram. So I'm sure she's maybe trying to find my page and stuff. What did he do to get banned? What's wrong with him? And then there was a new friend of mine from Lincoln, Nebraska, who was into science fiction. Oh my, why am I showing this? AOC, I like her. And I'm so glad she won 70%. I just think she's terrific. She should be Speaker of the House and not Nancy Pelosi. And so this friend from mine from Lincoln, we in science, so we like each other's stuff all the time. And then I'm sure he's thinking, where did he go? Why is his account banned? And I'm very lucky that he found me on Facebook, liking my stuff. So it's like, oh, okay. Now the question is, do I say anything on Instagram about my ban? I don't know. Will I get banned by bringing it up? Probably. See, these are all the people who like my stuff, but how can they like it when I've been taken off of the air? Trying to find my cousin. I guess it's been a while. So we're in. So now I have to go back and thank my Facebook friend for standing up for me. I said, look, whatever happens with this, you stood up for me. That means a lot to me. Earned and finished over, I'm fine with it because you were nice to me. You helped me. There. That's my cousin. And she has one post, which is her picture. And all she does is go on there and like my stuff. I guess she's not on very much. I don't know how she found me, but she found me. And this is the only place we talk to each other. So speaking of being online, as you may remember, a couple of days ago, we had a conversation here about AI and bias and predictions, and we had a very frank conversation. Uh-oh, I look frozen on Twitter, on Twitch. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. What happened? Something's happened. And I made it into a podcast and sent it out. And the idea was that using Midjourney version 4, initially doing a carnival theme, that the initial return for the word thug were young black men. And by the way, if you're interested in my carnival theme, it's now available on Rarible. Here are all of my carnival pictures. So this is what I was trying to do, is a midway carnival from, 1970s using Polaroid photographs. Fun stuff. And I did use this one, but I didn't call them thugs together because it's sort of good. Kind of makes sense to me. And this was very fast on Rarible. I think I had most of this done. And there were about 35 images here. I think I had it done, in 45 minutes. Very fast. If I tried that on OpenSea, it would be 2.5 hours. And I'd probably have to redo half of them because they didn't take. Now explain that to me. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. And I'm still waiting for OpenSea to get back to me if I can mint or not. I'm not even trying anymore because why try? I try and it doesn't work. And it's like they don't believe me. Something just popped up here on Mastodon. Barbara followed you. Now this is nice because this Barbara followed me earlier this morning when I was still on masthead.social, and now she's refollowed me on my new server, which is masto.ai, IA, in artificial intelligence, AI. So I appreciate that very much. And she's on swisstalk.net, which is, I guess, a Mastodon server. And probably eventually I could run my own Mastodon server and own the world. So we were having a frank conversation about race and culture and expectations. And Mr. Gordon from Florida was involved in that conversation. And we now stream via Restream, which means we can simulcast to up to 8 different places. And we are live on the Bowles Blogs Twitter account, on the David Bowles Twitter account, and on the Hardcore ASL Twitter account, along with Trovo. We got banned from DLive, LinkedIn, Twitch, Facebook. It's a good little mix. So we chat using the Restream.io chat propagator. And if you're on Twitch, on YouTube, you get full chat. What you type gets propagated, and what people type back gets propagated back to you. Facebook is sort of one way. You can, whatever you type gets propagated, but when people reply to you, you don't see it unless you're watching the screen. And some of the others sort of work the same way. LinkedIn is just sort of dead. LinkedIn, you can't comment, you can't reply, but you can watch the show. So there are filters set up on Restream, like banning bad words and things like that. And so do all of these other social medias. Stream providers like Twitch and YouTube, they all have their own Discord, own way of handling uncomfortable conversations. Enter Gordon from Florida. So we had a conversation, and Gordon was there commenting and back and forth, and I thought it all sort of made sense. And then after the show, I noticed, on Twitch, some things that were caught in moderation from Mr. Gordon. And I thought, well, that's interesting. How can you have a conversation about people of color and have it censored? I don't think it was propagated into the main live conversation, as far as I remember. So this is the first one that was caught. Automod Q. Gordon has violated race, ethnicity, or religion. And the original comment was, this is genuinely fascinating, as if they're trying to wipe out people of color out of history, out of curiosity. I tried running my own experiment on thugs in a theme park, and I've sent you the results. Now, I remember he said that because we checked it, and we showed it. But I can't remember if this was actually sent and Twitch just censored out the wipeout POC part, or if the whole thing was dead and Gordon had to resend. I don't know. But it bothers me. Gordon says that was my first attempt at saying that. And so were you blocked by Twitch or something that said, you can't send that? Because then we have a second instance of Mr. Gordon being censored by Twitch. Bullying. Are you thinking about greasers? Like John Travolta in the film Grease? Now, I remember he asked me about that. Thug, yes. West Side Story, yes. Gordon was censored today, too. Oh, my goodness, what did Gordon say? Now I have to check. Now, this is too much. I don't know what's going on. I don't see anything that says you were caught in an Automod queue. But it doesn't mean anything. I'll refresh and see if it says anything. I don't see anything like this. In some ways, I really like that, because if you're having a conversation, and you don't want people coming in and saying, greasers, and you don't want people coming in and saying, wipe out people of color. But when you're having a conversation about people of color, and is a greaser a thug? Yes. And if you use greaser in an AI prompt, would you get back the kind of result you're looking for? Maybe, maybe not. Gordon said, right after I said about my OG Apple Pencil and before I said his ads were awful. Weird. There's nothing here that I can see. Maybe I'll scroll back. Maybe it just gets knocked out, or maybe I don't get the report till after the show is over. I don't know. I don't see anything. Weird, very weird. And then I was reminded, when I saw this Twitch going after Gordon, I was reminded of this, which is still a very sore spot with me. Many years ago, in 2016, I did a podcast called Dot Busters, Beaner Hopping, and Foreign Rage. And that was, a title from a local newspaper about dot busters. People go out and beat up Indian people who have the dot on their forehead. Beaner hopping, which is where white thugs, greasers, go after people of color who may be Spanish, Latino, Latinx, whatever you want to say, and they would go and beat them up. And the rage against foreigners. So I was commenting on this situation that was going on in the real world. And this was my title. And when this was posted to Apple Podcasts, Apple censored my title. It's the only time it's ever happened. They put dot and then star, Beaner hopping, Beaner Star, 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 block. Oh, somebody just welcomed. Oh, somebody liked our message welcoming Gordon on Mastodon. And I was furious. And I emailed Apple Podcasts. I said, this is a news podcast. I'm not putting anybody down. This is what the topic is. And if you're censoring the topic, how will people know to listen? They didn't respond. So I went on Twitter. I remember I was in Long Island City with Jan Marie. We were going to an event that night. So before I left for the event, I said, why is this being censored? And then I got back hours later, this response from this angry person who happened to be a black woman on Twitter screaming at me for being a violent racist. And I said, what are you talking about? You don't know what dotbuster means? You don't know what Peter. I said, did you listen to the podcast, or are you just reacting to the title of the podcast that I shared that was censored? I don't have to listen to a podcast to know that you're a racist. I'm going to tell all my friends. And then almost immediately some guy stepped forward and said, oh boy, you're in trouble because now Black Twitter's going to be on you. And I said, I welcome Black Twitter being on me and having a conversation if they will listen to the podcast first. Because if you listen to it, you're not going to be upset. Because I'm the one who's doing the damage against the people who are doing the damage to these people of color. And I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from anybody else. I heard from her, the original woman, about 10 times. I'm a woman of color and I'm black and I know people like you. You think you're better than the rest. I said, have you listened to the podcast yet? Or are you just still going on about the title of my podcast that you don't like, which is actually me quoting back the headline of the local newspaper, which I mentioned, I think, in like the first 30 seconds of the show. Never listened to it, never replied with anything that was cogent in response to my conversation. So again, Gordon's trying to have a conversation about people of color, about greasers. I'm trying to have a conversation. And wait, so white privilege? Oh, you think you can talk about anything? Well, I'm just trying to have a conversation. It's interesting to me that when I type in thugs, the AI bot returns young black men in Midway Carnival in 1979. So it makes it difficult to have a conversation because you get in trouble. And maybe this is what Ron DeSantis is talking about, woke. Woke dies in Florida. Well, I hope that doesn't mean you can just insult people because you want to. Because we're trying to have a conversation about some important things. Oh, it's critical race theory. You're making white children feel bad. Well, maybe there's some history there that they don't know, that they should know if they want to be a part of our world in which we live and in which we spin. So now we're taking a very brief break, and then we're going to come back and talk about a difficult topic that I've sort of been avoiding so far. And that is a death in the family. I guess now's the time to put that in our Be Right Back. We'll see what happens when we return. And hey, we're back here on Bowls.tv. It's BOLES.television. It's Bowls TV. Coming to you live and in concert. From the Omaha Civic Auditorium, which is actually not there anymore. So now we begin with something we'd rather not talk about. I guess maybe it was last week on this live stream, we discussed the idea of goodbyes and how important they are and how they help you close circles. And I believe I've made that into a future podcast that's coming to you sometime soon. I hope. I guess we'll find out. So you wonder about people and saying goodbye and the opportunity to do it and not to do it. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't work out. I just typed in and created an image that I will share with you in a moment. I've been sort of fine until this moment where I can't talk about it. There's just no easy way to say anything sometimes. Did I tell you I got back on Instagram? So talk about being disconnected and saying goodbye to people. And sometimes it's not possible. I never should have created this image that I'm going to show you because now I'm getting upset. I'm trying to remember. There's something like you find something sharp and you put it into your thumb. So when you start getting upset, then you feel the pain or something. It takes your mind off of what you're really thinking. So I have a cousin named Gina, and she is now dead. And we grew up together, but we didn't see each other very often. But when we did, it was wonderful. Spent a lot of time in North Loop, Nebraska together. And on Sunday, she died. And I found out about it last night. And she was 58 years old. Now, as far as I know, I don't believe she was ever married. I don't believe she had any children. I don't know if she had a significant other. Not that it matters, but it's sort of interesting background. Because the last time I saw her was probably 30 years ago, 34 years ago, on our way to Washington, D.C. from Lincoln, Nebraska. We stayed with her where she was living in, I think, North Carolina at that time. But you don't see somebody for 34 years, and they're your cousin, and you're together, so, you stay in touch every once in a while, maybe talk on the phone once in a while. But this is the problem with being, a disconnected person. And in some ways, you could say your family is disconnected in many ways, too. Because when you have first cousins, and they're young, and they can't really see each other, she grew up in a military family, so she spent a lot of her youth traveling the world, Germany especially. And then she kind of settled down in Kentucky with the rest of her family. So you have to make an effort to see people and stay in touch. And sometimes it just doesn't work out for whatever reason. And maybe a year ago, she kind of got in touch with me again, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Gina. She's back. Because everybody loves Gina. She does all the hard work, wonderful personality. And then I was so disappointed because the reason that she was reconnecting with me was because she was involved in an MLM. She wasn't interested in me. She was interested in selling us stuff. So there was a little bit of disappointment there, and then it was sort of relentless. And then a year later, you find out that she drops dead in her mother's home. And Gina had moved home with her 2 black cats into her mother's house to take care of her mother, who is 85 years old and who lost her husband, Gina's father, to brain cancer. Yikes. Lieutenant Colonel. 5 years ago. And it was a long and painful death for my uncle. So Gina is there. Good job working HR in a dealership, car dealership. There with her mom in her own room, her own TV with her cats. And on Sunday, she dropped dead. And we don't know why. They think it's maybe a brain aneurysm, blood clot, because I guess she'd had some trouble with a blood clot or something, and so did her mother. But I can't imagine the pain of being the mother at 85 years old and going in to the bedroom and finding your young daughter dead on the floor. 58 years old. And they're not doing an autopsy. That was the first question we asked. And I guess because of her age and because of how she instantly died, that there are only a couple of things that it could be. And if there's no foul play involved, then the state's not going to pay for an autopsy. I guess if you want one, you can go pay for one, but the state isn't going to do it. So then they start thinking back on opportunities missed. And I remember what Fred Gwynne told me a long time ago, many, many years ago. Fred Gwynne was a great actor, did a lot of work for Nebraska TV. He was Herman Munster. And he was on his deathbed dying. And he was saying goodbye to his friends. And one of his friends told me this story, that he said, life is like this. And I'm going to see you again in this. And Fred Gwynne was a great guy, very talented, heavy drinker, but he painted. Every year he would paint and then send out Christmas cards of his latest painting and sign it and everything. Great guy. A wonderful actor, and stuck in a stereotypical role like Bob Denver and Robert Reed on Brady Bunch, where these fantastic actors who, because they want to make money and live, They have to do these roles. And I think, well, it'll be 2 seconds, it'll be canceled, I'll get the money and run. And then you're stuck being Gilligan the rest of your life. You're stuck being Herman Munster for the rest of your life. You're stuck being the dad on the Brady Bunch for the rest of your career. I understand. It's very difficult. It's a scary thing when you're out there trying to put together a career and having a hard time. So this is one of the few photographs I have of Gina from a long time ago. I wrote this article in 1998 about the cathedrals of chalk, the chalk mine in North Loop, Nebraska. And I've upscaled these using AI. They were very grainy photographs that were very tiny. There's my grandfather. And I was able to get this fixed. And they're beautiful. Go to the bowlsblogs.com website and blow them up. They're massive images now, and they look gorgeous. That's me. Oh, I can hover over it and it does get bigger. And this is me with Grandpa. Chalk mines are great. Oh, we lived there. We love to go. And this is us. Popcorn days. Big. My mother and her sister. Gina's mother. Popcorn Day queens. First time in the history of popcorn days. Two sisters were popcorn queens at different times. And so this year we decided we were going to sell t-shirts for popcorn days, and we sold them out like in 10 minutes. We didn't make enough. And so this was all of us hanging out. The tall one on the left is Stephanie. She is the older sister of Gina. The next guy in line is Brian. He's no longer around. He was a Bowles kid. Out. And this one, next to me on the end, right in there in the middle, that's Gina. Gina Marie. And those were good times. That's the one photograph I have of her. Now here's where it gets a little sad. Maybe right after the MLM stuff, and we kind of let that cool, she sent me an email saying she was watching a movie and there were fireflies in the movie. And then she told me this story that she remembered about fireflies. And how we were in the backyard of our grandfather's garden and we were chasing fireflies together and capturing them and putting them in jars. And if you've never seen a firefly, it's a fly that flies around and flashes its light. It's beautiful and very fun. And sorry to say that if you catch one and then you go like that, you kill it and put it on, then you have this thing that glows on your head. So you can put it all over your face. You can decorate your face with these dead firefly luminescence. And she said she started crying because she was watching this movie. It reminded us as children. I don't really have a memory of that, but she did, and she convinced me that it happened. And I believed her. And she just was, you could tell that she was sort of longing for that more innocent time where two little kids could be fascinated and laugh and delight in the lights of a firefly. So this is what got me all wound up after the break. I came here and said, oh, well, later today I should put up a little tribute to her about fireflies. And I put up a little tribute last night. Oh, this is a good one. Right before I went to bed, I thought I should type something just, in memory of Gina. And so I wrote this. I always attach an image. I didn't because this was late at night, 9:46. I was going to bed. And I said, we sing to hear the sirens. We move to take the breeze. We leave an early death to die within the trees. And I didn't want to make a big thing of it. Oh, this is to Gina, who died of a brain aneurysm at age 50. I just thought I'll put that out there. A little memory of her. until I could do something more. And then I get this. Do I sing this to the Muppet Show intro music? Gordon says that was beautifully written. Thank you, Gordon. So this guy, do I sing this to the Muppet Show intro music? Okay. Now, there are nasty people on Twitter, and some just want to be cruel. So I clicked on his, I looked at his timeline. He's not that kind of person. I think he's trying to be funny. He thought I was being funny put two together. I didn't say this was about a dead woman. I didn't say this is about cousin Gina. I didn't say, how does he know? And so that's what I replied. I fully expected him to delete his reply, but he hasn't, because maybe he hasn't seen my reply. But I screenshotted it. So he said, I guess you could, meaning, sing it to the Muppet Show thing. But just informing him, the pacing of your writing does kind of go with the Muppet Show tune. I don't even know what that is, so I accept the criticism. So I said, I guess you could sing it to the Muppet Show, but I wrote it for my cousin who died this week at 58 of a brain aneurysm. Not trying to be maudlin or anything. It's quite lovely that the same writing means one thing to someone and another thing to someone else, him. All interpretation and intention. And that is the beauty of writing. I didn't put that in a context. I didn't frame it around anything. I just put that up there. A little sing-songy maybe, a little rhymey, little, iambic pentameter that he thought is the Muppet Show, which is fine. So after the break, I came back and decided I'd be so genius and I'd go into Midjourney version 4 and type a prompt, which I should have waited. A prompt called, "Hey, Gordon says, people mostly well remember the first 3 lines. It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight." Well, that's wonderful. So I typed in the AI prompt, "Young boy, young girl, watch a firefly with fascination. While being surrounded by many fireflies in the woods." And then almost immediately, it gave me this return, which I thought was incredible, because usually it takes about 60 seconds for this return to come up. So maybe the AI bot knew that I was trying to get this up. And these are the first 4 images. So it wasn't really, the thing of being informed last night that Gina was dead that kind of got me all upset. It was looking at this image. And the image sort of remembered for me what I was not clearly remembering when Gina brought it up. But now that I kind of see it, understand it. So, sometimes you can say goodbye, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can close a circle, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you see another person in the snap of a finger, and sometimes you can't. You just try to do the best with what you have and move on and soldier on, trying to find new meaning and new pathways into the future. So what a show we've had today. Wow. We talked about a lot of very interesting things. I thank you so much for being here. We'll now write up a little remembrance of Gina Marie. I have a Jana Marie, and I had a Gina Marie. And I put that on social media, get the word out. I'm sure there are some people who don't know yet. It's a hard thing to deal with. And then I have to go to Facebook and thank my friend for getting me back on Instagram. And that's what I'm going to post on Instagram. One of these lovely images. And I'll do a few rolls and re-rolls and see if we can find something really fun. Gordon says that's really beautiful. So if you have any questions, concerns, you can email me, David@bowles.tv. On Twitter, it's @DavidBowles. on Instagram. Hey, we're back for the moment. Anyway, Bowles Books. On Facebook, we're Bowles. And if you want to join our Discord server, which is where all the fun happens, including all the links that you've seen and heard about in today's show, there you go. So I hope you have a wonderful day, a nice nap, a good meditation, and when ye shall awaken tomorrow or whenever, I hope your soul is filled with the joy of the discovery of a firefly. I'll see you soon.